This looks to be heading for the cut stuff. Well, that's right out of the top draw. A great shot from our leader. The 16th hole at TPC Summerlin is the final par 5 on the course, Rich, and one that players can reach into.
Obviously, no hope leaving it short with your second shot in the water at 16, so most players bailing out, hitting it just over this green. If they draw a decent lie, they can chip it close, make birdie. However, not so easy, as there's a couple of low areas and greenside bunkers to deal with long of this green.
This one's looking good. That will drop, and it will extend the lead. Leading by a potentially insurmountable 11 strokes after that one. Not sure why I said potentially.
2 holes to go, Luke. I know who I like.
Going with the 5-iron here. Well, that was fantastic. What a shot from the leader.
I tell you, you just dream about days like today. Greens and regulation, spot on all day. Awesome.
Oh, what a big putt to make that one. Now let's change gears and head over to Bubba Watson.
Coming off a bogey on the last hole.
Getting ready to play their third. Ah, what a shot from the bunker. Let's take a look at the leaderboard as it stands. The 18th at TPC Summerlin is a 444-yard par 4 with a big body of water just beyond the gully, which you've got to drive. Make sure you avoid those bunkers on the right side to give you a good iron into this green.
Yep, that'll work. That's fine.
And Henny, what are you seeing down there?
He's got, I'd say, a solid 145 here. Over 300 yards from the tee as well.
Yeah, that was a safe play.
Looking for back-to-back birdies here, Luke.
And it's all come down to this. Make this putt and win the event. Oh, that's frustrating. All right, let's see. Well, it's fair to say that this player ran the tables this week, Rich, and came up trumps in Las Vegas. Look at your Shriners Children's Open winner.
And nobody on the PGA Tour will be shining quite as brightly as this player the rest of the evening here in Las Vegas.
And Rich, mark that down as one of the outstanding wins we'll see this season.
It's always impressive when you see a player outshine their fellow competitors, because all of these players are really good, but this player made everybody in the field look very, very average. So good was their performance.
I'm Luke Elvey alongside Rich Beam, and on behalf of all the hard-working folks at HB Studios, it's goodbye for now.
2K Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup.
Today's coverage of the Champions Invitational is about to begin. I'm Luke Elvey alongside Rich Beam in the booth, and it's a hello to Henny Koyak down on the course following our featured group.
Hi Luke, I'm pleased to be following this featured group as there are rumours of quite a rivalry kicking off between these two players.
Well, Henny, it sounds like they're trying to beat young Will Zalatoris. I'm really looking forward to this matchup.
Oh, as am I. Wily Will found his way onto the tour in a very unusual manner, and he kept himself there. The pressure is not too much for him. He can handle anything. He's a fierce young man, a young man of the future, and I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with his game. Where can you beat him? Where can you see any of those defenses? He's very confident, and as I said, Luke, he can take that pressure.
Yeah, well, he might be slight in stature. I think he's 160 pounds wringing wet, but he's big on confidence and bold with his iron play. There is not a flag he won't fire at, so if you want to beat Will Zalatoris, you better go hole hunting.
He's currently tied for 8th. And now let's catch up with John McCarthy for an on-course report. What can we expect from Echo Park Golf Club this week, John?
Well, Luke, one thing I can say about this after walking the course this morning, it's a long one. So distance off the tee, especially important here at Echo Park. Course starts off along the big lake. There are a few holes that hug the edge of this lake, not unlike Bay Hill, but here you get hit with it right off the start. And when you get away from the water, you get hit with the sand on the 6th. There is a thin corridor of fairway that leads to the green that weaves its way through. I think there's 5-6 bunkers leading up to and surrounding the 6th green. And from there on out, the players are going to be on the watch for the sand because it's sneaky and it's hard to avoid in certain situations. It's going to be an exciting time here, I think, this week at Echo Park.
Wow, that almost went in the hole. He has this putt to save his par. Ouch, that hurts. It's just about 3 feet away. Back-to-back bogeys is never nice, but in she goes.
2 bogeys in a row, never a good sign. Have to see if they can rebound from that.
Unfortunately, moving down the leaderboard, that's not the direction to be heading. A chance to put last hole's bogey behind them here at this tee. Rich, what kind of mojo do you think this player's got after winning in their last start?
This player has more confidence, I believe, than any other player in the field at the moment. This should be another good week for him.
A chance for a birdie if this goes down. You know, it's not if you make bogeys, it's how you respond. Well done.
Sitting at 1 over for the day. Here we are at Echo Park Golf Club, the 4th hole, and it's a big brute of a par 4.
Off the tee, your eyes look down the left-hand side and see 2 massive bunkers and obviously the water. So anything right of that is just fine. If you find the fairway, second shot is downhill just a little bit to a long, narrow green that has got bunkers down the right-hand side. Distance control with that second shot is absolutely imperative if they want to have a good look at birdie. This would be a momentum saver here, getting this up and down.
Oh my God! And that'll be a big boost to his standings on the leaderboard. Well, that's worth a replay. Let's take another look.
I'm glad we get to see this again. This one should be practiced at home.
Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
Who'd have thought we'd see this? He is behind his rival. Can he do the catching up that's necessary?
The leader now has a one-stroke advantage. And we've arrived at a par 3. Well, let's see if they can roll off that birdie at the last. Lovely momentum here. Looks to have chosen the 7-iron.
Wow, showing Will Zalatoris that this rivalry is indeed not to be taken lightly.
Putting for birdie here.
This is tracking right into the front of this cup.
Oh, well played. And that will take him to 1 under. And stepping up the standings after that effort. Let's see what happens here on the 6th.
Do you attack it and try and increase your lead, or do you lay back and play safe? I like to attack it. What do they like to do?
Well, every week there's a certain bunch of players that everyone keeps an eye on. This one seems to be exactly in that company. One of the strong favourites to win, don't you think, Rich?
It's never a surprise when you speak this player's name. They've been so good all year long. They've got to be one of the favorites, not only for this tournament, but also for the season-long FedEx Cup.
Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
He's currently trailing his rival. Let's see what happens here.
So after that effort, this is what the leaderboard looks like. Our current leader is enjoying a one-shot lead. Teeing off here at the 7th. Good looking shot this. Well, Rich, it's become a bit of a new age thing on tour. A couple of rivalries that heat up on social media. We've seen a number of other players that call each other out. What have you made of this social media age?
Well, you better have thick skin if you're going to get into the social media arena. Thankfully, they didn't have it when I was out there on tour, because I don't know if I could handle it. I certainly couldn't be trusted with it back then. But I think if you're going to go into that arena, you have to treat social media like it's just something that it's fun to do. If you do go down that rabbit hole in social media, you better be prepared for the consequences.
That was a gallant attempt. Playing their 4th shot.
Currently in the lead by a shot.
Oh, what a super shot.
And a chip in, Luke, just what the doctor ordered.
Why not take another look at that effort?
Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
He's 2 strokes behind his rival this week.
Okay, let's get back to it, shall we? And maintaining top spot on the leaderboard after that. Just a couple to play here on the opening 9. Here's the tee shot at the 8th. Opting for the 5-wood. Sitting at 3 under par. Currently leading. Oh, wouldn't that have been nice? And just a little bit of clean-up work remaining on this hole. He's currently sitting in 1st place. 2 great shots are required here, because this hole is a long par 4. Rich, there's plenty of paths to the PGA Tour, but few seem to bash their way to the PGA Tour quicker than Will Zalatoris. It was an immediate impact he had, and it's just such an exciting game he possesses.
Watching him go from the Korn Ferry Tour and essentially bypassing all of that fairly immediately with the 3 wins and getting onto the PGA Tour and having such a profound effect when he was out there really is quite astonishing. Without getting the win, but seemingly in contention each and every week out there, you feel the sky is the limit for what's going to happen with this young man. He is so disciplined in what he does in a round of golf. He's got a great mind in the way that he approaches the game and how he advances the golf ball to point A to point B. He sees this golf course 3 shots in advance. It's just kind of like it's right there in front of him. He reminds me of an old school pool player who he's already made all the shots, and now just has to go ahead and just sink the next one because he set himself up perfectly for the next one. It's impressive.
Nicely done.
How much did the win last week give them the confidence to perhaps pull it off again here and go back to back?
A massive win last week, looking to double up again this week. I gotta say, they're building off all the good things they did last week. A win could definitely happen.
That'll sting a bit. This putt just 5 feet away from the hole. Now, nice to make a mid-range par putt.
Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
Now, who'd have thought we'd see this? He is behind his rival. Can he do the catching up that's necessary?
Currently a couple under for the event. The 11th at Echo Park is a par 4 stretching at 430 from the back tees.
Just a slight bit uphill off the tee shot. Find a spot at that far bunker, Luke, that you want to aim at and go ahead and turn it loose. From there, second shot goes over a nice little meandering stream that wanders throughout the golf course to a green, clover-like in appearance, but I gotta say, this is really one of the coolest holes on the golf course. I love it.
What's in front of them, Henny?
Setting up this putt 18 feet from the cup.
This one's dialed in. And in she goes. That's a good save.
And that'll put a little pep in your step, up and down from the bunker, in for the birdie. Good job.
Let's head to the 12th hole, shall we?
Nice birdie at the last. Let's see what they can produce here.
Looks to have opted for the 8-iron. That was a little untidy, wasn't it? Straight into the water. Well, Rich, in the thick stuff here, not a good spot to be. There's 17 feet remaining to the hole.
Their short game has been very impressive. They've been really sharp today.
Oh, that was such a good stroke.
Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
Yeah, he just made bogey on that last one.
Let's take a look at the current standings.
Managing to maintain their position on the leaderboard after that effort. Well, the 13th hole here at Echo Park Golf Club is not as kind. A big hole at 504 from the tips.
Well, thankfully, it's slightly downhill off the tee, but yes, avoid those bunkers down the right-hand side, and of course, that meandering brook that is a feature of this golf course. Big hitters can actually take it over everything down the right-hand side, but that's for the brave few. Second shot downhill slightly to a massive green. Just some big bunkers on the left-hand side, but plenty of bailout room over to the right.
That's a smart option. Back into the fairway. And here we are with the third shot.
He shares top spot.
How close was that to going in the hole? Great shot.
Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
Birdied their last hole.
Well, that's got to have some impact on the scoreboard. Let's take a look. It's time to tee off here at the 14th hole. Penny, what have they got in front of them here?
Setting up here from about 145 yards.
And choosing the 8-iron here. Hoping for a bounce here, preferably to the left.
They're a long way from the hole here. Work to be done.
Ooh.
Putting for a par here.
And that putt will drop. Well done. And that makes him tied for first. Welcome to this hole. It's a par 4. That was wonderfully done. Taking aim from about 180 yards here.
Wind back into their grill. They need to flight this one down. This one's heading towards the cabbage.
Didn't quite strike that as cleanly as they would have hoped.
Wind got that one and took it wayward.
Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
He's currently trailing his rival. Let's see what happens here.
And the players left with an opportunity to get up and down here from the sand. Ooh. Wow, that's right out of the Gary Player highlight reel. Okay, so that's step one, but now going to hold a mid-range putt.
Putting for a par now.
This is on a great line.
And with that putt, now 2 under with the final few holes to go.
Hang on to your hat, folks. We're on for a wild ride.
Teeing off here on the 16th hole. This would be a great up and down from this spot. Wow. Take that. That's quality. And with that, he's now broken the tie, all alone at the top of the leaderboard.
2 holes to go, Luke. Can they hang on?
Oh, what a wonderful play. Leading with intent.
Man, people usually don't go that far on vacation. What a drive.
This is an extremely long putt. They might even have to hinge on this one. Wow, was that a rush of blood or something?
What's in front of them, Henny, with this putt?
They've just got to focus on hitting the back of the cup, guys. This is up the hill, bit of extra juice needed.
It was on a good line. This is a bogey putt coming up.
Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
Who'd have thought we'd see this? He is behind his rival. Can he do the catching up that's necessary?
Currently 1 under for the round. Oh, some real excitement running through the veins as this player tees off their final hole for the event, tied for the lead.
Luke, there are some anxious moments out there. It would not shock me at all to see this go to a playoff.
Oh, good drive. That one should find the fairway. Time for the second shot on the 18th. The equation's pretty simple. Chip this in and win the tournament. How close was that to going down? All right, let's keep the focus here. This is to win the event.
This one's looking.
A moment like that, Rich, just fills you with joy. What a performance.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe that this player's already got 4 victories on the season. Top of the game right now. It's impressive.
This is impressive. To win out here on tour is a big deal, but to go back-to-back, Rich, how significant is that?
Luke, winning one.